aggressive and start denying a lot of expansions.
Same time with this open map, same structure that we saw Soulkey use last game is going to be very effective in this game. So without any further ado, let's hop into game 2 of Polt for Soulkey. Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner. One of the most successful Terrans of all time, the two-time WCS NA champion, CM Storm Polt! In the top corner, wearing the blue trunks, with a championship under his belt, would love a grand final championship as well. It is Bungan star Soulkey!
Soulkey looked so good last game on Belshir Vestige, but of course, Polt has the chance now to adapt to what he just saw. He can play a little bit more aggressive, but see, that's one of the hardest things. Day 9, I know you talk about this a lot in your Day 9 dailies. What do you do in this position when you've practiced the same thing over and over and over again and it gets shut down? Do you change or do you keep with it?
Well, I like to say you adjust rather than change. You'd want to leverage those countless hours of practice that you've done with that build. And I like, for instance, the fact that Polt is going to be going for the same opening. Not because it's good to be predictable, but because this is specifically a very flexible opening. He can be a little less aggressive with his Marine Marauder. He can be a little bit more mindful and take the watchtowers. He has a lot of mobile units, mines that can be placed around the map, the Hellion Reaper to sweep for vision, and the Viking to deny Overlord scouts. So I think Polt is going to be relatively comfortable doing an identical style opening, but just adjusting for these aggressive moves that Soulkey's done. But Soulkey already seems to have another plan underway. He went gas, pool. I mean, no doubt it's going to be for Zergling's speed, but what's the follow-up for Soulkey here?
You know, I'm not really sure. I mean, what do you do with Zergling's speed so early on this map? Normally it's used for defensive purposes, but I feel like a lot of 4-queen openings do a lot better job on this map. Creep spread is an important thing to prioritize, so getting those queens out, getting even 3 queens out on the map just for creep spread, I think is the much better way. Then you can just get your third a little bit easier, and you want to work your way up to that 4 base count as we were talking about, and of course, thereafter 5, 6, and 7.
Ooh, this, I'm always a little scared of this position. We've seen this countless times. The Reaper moves out. This is a very open map. It's easy to waltz Zerglings out, and we'll see players like Soulkey get 6 lings and rally forth, picking off this SCV. So there's 6 lings.
He did use these for defensive purposes last time around, just to keep tabs on this Reaper. Zerglings will pop out here. Oh, Soulkey might lose.
Oh, a misclick from Polt. A little bit of the shaky hand syndrome. I don't know if that's a syndrome. Maybe his hands are just shaky. It's actually quite normal. I wouldn't worry if you have shaky hands.
Doing good damage. Not able to kill anything just yet. And Drone being targeted down, but turns into an extractor now. Super needs to get the heck out of here. He needs to get out of here.
Oh, Reaper can't hop down those back cliffs, but a Reaper controlled by Polt can get out of any situation. Yep.
Some good stuff coming out of both these players already. Polt, let's see what he switches up. Now, I do want to mention, the big thing that I would call to attention was the Viking. You said it did 0 kills last time around. So this is a position where he could actually say, well, since it did 0 kills, I can get my medevacs a little bit earlier. And yeah, it might not have the drop or the units to really damage you nearly as much, but I could do a single medevac drop and try to put pressure on you a lot earlier.
I like that. I do like single medevac plays, especially with a lot of mines early on. I think Polt is aware of the pressure that mass lings can swing in with, because the Zergling speed, as we see, finished right before these Hellions popped out. Very easy to lose in that sort of situation, but Overlord's pulling back, and I want to draw attention to what you were talking about before the game began. This backdoor expansion is just lovely for Zerg, because often Zerg will be taking this as the 3rd base, creep spread between these 2 locations, ample enough time to get them connected up, and then it's basically a free 4th base. So Zergs love to take this, tech up to a Swift Hive, and have 8 gases at their disposal.
And the problem with taking them is just killing the rocks. You have to kill 4,000 hit points worth of rocks, the 2 rocks. well, the rocks blocking the base and the rocks connecting the base. It's so important that you get the connection. And that takes a long time because they both have 3 armor. So Zerglings are literally doing 2 damage every single time. So you need something of more substance, whether it be roaches or whether it just be Zerglings sitting there for 10 hours.
Ooh, now this is a funky spot, Andre. We see very fast layer and fast 4 gas coming out of Soulkey. He's cut back to 4 queens, but still has that 5th one en route for maximum defense. But it's looking very much like an extremely fast Spire from Soulkey. And I think this is going to be the read from Polt. He sees no third base. He might send a Reaper up here just to double check the backside, but with that knowledge, Polt opening with this aggressive play, getting his medevacs, getting all these attack-based tools out. Does he go for a quicker push? Does he go for a later push?
I think he can actually just back off from here. I mean, he knows he has like economic equality. He's in a good position to just say, hey, there's no reason to actually do damage. I can just wait for you, keep poking out, deny as much creep as possible, and then when my push comes up, I defend against the early, any shenanigans, whether it's roaches or Spire tech. Then I'll be in a good position to just push out and have the advantage in engagements.
Oh, a last second transfuse from Soulkey, but we got 2 more.
Nice.
If he targets the full energy queens, that means there's only 1 transfuse that's available. Viking aggressively hunting for everything, or perhaps doing some waypoint knitting.
Only has 1 kill though. And this is very uncharacteristic of the Vikings we've seen in the past from Polt. He normally racks up 4, 5, 6 kills we've seen in single games.
But I mean, look at the vision for Soulkey. He's kept everything so far back. His overlords are all in defensive positions. They're planted very nicely around the map. Look at this, already preparing for a drop. Already has a little strike force defense here. And like you've said so many times, Andre, look at how late the barrack structures are. They're getting started around 10 minutes. That's crazy. Does he even have double engineering bay? He does.
Yes, he does. These are late as well, though, and you can see they are not upgrading. Normally, you're going to start upgrading around 8:15, around there, and you can see how much later it is. It's already 10 minutes, and we still don't have it. Also, the barracks, normally we see 3 at 7 minutes, and then another 2 more at 9 minutes. Doesn't exist over here either.
And thus the push begins. It has stem. These are slow Banelings. If he can line those Banelings up, this is going to be a great win for Polt. What a nice move at this point. Mutalisks are not quite done. Zergling speed is not quite done. Excuse me, Baneling speed is not quite done. We're seeing the Extractor take some serious hits. Soulkey is regathering all his forces. This is a very thin defense for Soulkey.
He's trying to. Banelings, I mean, they can't connect on anything until they get their speed or enough Zerglings to surround the army.
Oh, the Mutalisks are starting to pick away at those medevacs, as are the Queens. Polt is going to continue to attack here. I think he needs to pull back.
He needs Widow Mines in this engagement, else he will be overrun for sure. He's up against 3 hatcheries. That production is a lot stronger than what Polt has been going off of. Now upgrading, or upgrades 1-1 for Zerg have finished. There's going to be a huge light switch that says any attacks will go very cost efficiently for the Zerg.
Yeah, I mean, Soulkey at the 1-1. Pulse at 0-0. Very rarely do we see the Zerg being quite far ahead of the Terran in upgrades. And no Chrono Boost is going to help Polt catch up. He's got to try to attack more. He's getting his third armory up. 3rd command center floating, it looks like, to kind of the far location, not to the tighter center spot.
And here's going to be the engagement. Banelings will be able to connect so much easier because of those upgrades. Look at that. Polt gets absolutely annihilated. But does Soulkey have enough material? Where are his Mutalisks in this engagement?
Soulkey doesn't have any Zerglings on the map right now. It's going to be Mutalisks fighting naked versus Marines. The Mutalisks smartly target the medevacs, picking off 1, picking off 2. Drones, though, are going to be the real casualties of this war. Polt starting to pull ahead, 116 to 100. Pulled back into the corner. Soulkey will might take it down, and he does.
A great defense from Soulkey. That might seem like it might have been cost efficient, but in the end, losing all of those units, you're losing a lot of ground to deny that creep. Right now, Soulkey is just going to push farther and farther out, and because you don't have units in the center of the map, because you're scared of some sort of attack with mutas in your main base at your natural, it's going to just put Polt way off the map, and I feel like Soulkey's in prime position.
Oh, what a dud. That mine could have been so brutal for Soulkey, but Soulkey is being very cautious. He knows his Mutalisk count is not yet very high. It is at 12. It needs to be at around 20 to be a real potent threat. At this point in time, it is essentially a mine and medevac assaulting force only. It cannot engage those Marines directly. This is a very risky move for Soulkey. He wants to go in, he's hoping there's no mines, but he sees them all at the back. And good Baneling connections, and the mines do clean it up a little bit.
But it's not going to be enough now. The medevac's being chased back, but Marines Marauders are back here to reinforce. Going over to the third base, it's not going to be enough because there are no units in that bunker. But still, the Marines are giving chase, and the Mutas are just going to buy more time. This is a great position for Soulkey to be in, but he can't throw away units like that. Still needs his fourth base.
This is exactly why Mutalisks, quick Mutalisks are so strong on this map. They can easily sweep around this back. And what does Polt do? I mean, Soulkey's just marching wherever he wants.
Now the turret is going to be repaired in time. Nicely done by Polt.
A fast, slick pickup by Polt, who's now beginning to flood his main with missile turrets. This still is quite a close game. I'm not actually seeing a macro hatch anywhere for Zerg. Soulkey's relying on pure gas aggression. Upgrades, Banelings, Mutas. The Muta count still at a quite low 16.
He is prepping that back right base, though. He is starting to kill the rock. That's looking good. But yeah, I agree. Soulkey, there's something missing right now. He hasn't gone for that tech or the macro hatches you were talking about. And because of that, he was pretty bad.
Oh my God! Star Sense from Polt is running hot. Weakening a couple of SCVs, no problem. A 3-kill Widow Mine gets a nice pick off at the Zelnaga Watchtower. Polt is going to continue to drive, and he is scooping up that vision. Look at this line of sight from Polt, spotting everything. He knows that this is where the Mutalisks are, this is where the forces are, and Soulkey better be very careful.
Oh, he converged. He still has a lot of Marines and Marauders on the other side, and it looks like Polt is going to overwhelm his opponent. Widow Mine's pushing forward.
What a move! Blasting down the third base. Mines in position. Marine train. The little line of red ants marching in from Polt's base, 171 to 133. How Polt managed to find the money to get this far ahead, I will never know. Fourth base, so late for Soulkey, no macro hatch. The Ling numbers are going to remain very small. They might be strong with 2-2, but guess what? Polt is 2-2 as well. His level 3 attacks are en route. And Soulkey's trying to sweep up that vision, but I don't know how much longer Zerg can hold on.
That last attack was a 1-1 against 2-2 fight. Soulkey went in right before the upgrades finished, but here might be a little bit better, but the mines are so well spread out, even the small packs of units going forward.
Oh, utter annihilation from Polt. More Banelings sweeping in, but the mine line goes so far back. Soulkey digs deep, connects in key ways to pick this force back. And the Mutas are now annihilating the mines. Oh, another nice hit.
Good pickoff so far. Soulkey looks like he's able to defend against this, but the next round of units are already there. Moving forward, fourth base being thrown down. Polt surging forward, claiming his ground, saying, no, you will not reclaim this. You're not putting creep back on here. Your third base is mine.
The mine count is at 16. An insane gauntlet for the Zerg units to try to march through. More Banelings roll forth. Mines there to connect with each and every one. Soulkey hoping his Muta count is high enough, but this is the retreat you don't want to make as Zerg.
Some small, nice micro key moves from Soulkey, but it's just not enough. Again, another round of units are surging forward, and Polt, I mean, he's in prime position to just eliminate this base.
Polt throws down the scan. His eyes get big. No splits needed here. Baneling count is non-existent. The Mutalisks have to go toe-to-toe with Marines. GG!
Polt will tie up the series 1-1. Still life for this champion. In the group stages of Group A, Polt played so well, and this is where his comfort zone exists. You go into this constant